Our cells blink light to communicate.
Wow, that's a miracle.
Color, light, and sound are the medicines of the future.
Warm welcome, everyone. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the next episode of Master Series 2025. Today, and please welcome together with me, Colette Garside.
Hello, and thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. My pleasure, my honor, and my pleasure to have you here today for this interview. Let me introduce you shortly. Colette is a founder at Need for Change and Winds of Change, and you are located in the United Kingdom. First of all, I would like to quote some phrases from your LinkedIn profile, which I found absolutely fascinating and actual. So, in Winds of Change, you said, at this present time, I'm running lectures and small workshops in the UK on keeping the body healthy so that the mind, emotions, and your spiritual being are all in balance. Winds of Change is my company, and we feel there is a need for change in how we think about each other, the world, and the products we use on a daily basis. How would you comment this? I would like to start with that because, in my opinion, this said 30 years ago. And I find this so actual and so on demand today. Do you think the world has made significant move forward towards balance, towards understanding, towards self-healing and relationships?
Yes and no. On one level, yes, they were making progress. And on another level, we went backwards. And if we look at the world today, we really are backwards. Starvation. I never ever thought I would see Auschwitz and these concentration camps ever in my life. I've been very fortunate. I've never experienced a war. So that's progress. As for balance within our mind, body, spirit, and emotional aspects, since COVID and the lockdown, people's mental aspects have really deteriorated. But the news and energy today is very, very stuck. And it's negative, negative, negative. There's no positive. Everybody is struggling. And it doesn't matter which part of the world you're in. People are struggling. And so they go for the cheapest, which isn't good for the body. And yeah, I have to watch my pennies as well. But there are certain things I will not negotiate on. I won't eat fast food. I like to buy organic, and I'll grow my own if possible to save that money. So yes and no, there is balance, and no, there isn't balance. That's how I see it.
Over 35 years, you exploring mind, body, emotions, and spirit. Where did it all begin? And what kept you committed to that holistic path? Maybe also related your education, because you graduated Academy of Biochemic Medicine, and prior to that, Bristol College for Health and Beauty.
Well, I started off, I wasn't very good at school. I was very practical. I was a practical child, and I'm very kinesthetic. I've got to listen to it. I've got to feel it. I've got to be shown how it works. So my parents decided, with me being born in the catering industry, I was going to be a hotel manager, chef, and waitress.
Unbelievable.
And at the age of 14, I wanted to be a beauty therapist. And my mother said to me, "You're not clever enough. You can't go to beauty school. You're going to catering college." So off I toddled to catering college for 2 years, and I trained to be a chef, hotel manager, and waitress, which is now a university in Birmingham. And it's the only one of the only catering university in the UK. So I do my 2 years there, and I go into the industry, and I become a housekeeper of a 4-star hotel. I become an assistant manager of a 4-star hotel, and I hated every minute of it. And I met my husband at the age of 15, and he was in the Air Force, and he saw an advert in the paper for beauty therapy at a college for 2 years where you go full time. So he wrote on my behalf, and he says to me, he says, "Oh, you've got an interview for beauty therapy at the college." And I'm going, "I can't do that. I've got no GCSEs." And he was saying, "Well, you've got to go. Here's your invitation." So off I go to the beauty college. And they said, "Well, you've already been to college. You've worked. You're a mature student. Yes, you've got a position." So I then go back to college at the age of 19, full time for 2 years. And I trained to be a beauty therapist, hairdresser. So, and in those days, we didn't have aromatherapy as an exam. And Robert Tisserand, who was the father of aromatherapy in the UK, he lectured us for 12 months on aromatherapy. So I passed with distinction, and I became a beauty therapist. And at the age of 23, I married my husband. And by the time I'm 24, we've left the UK and we're living in the Netherlands. So no, I was 28 when we left. So I've got 2 children, and I'm learning Dutch, and you know, everybody says the Dutch speak English. No, they don't. If you live in the east of Holland, they either speak German or Dutch. Yes. So sink or swim. And I ended up by having 7 years of really serious illness. And I mean serious. At one stage, I was taken into hospital, and the doctor gave me less than a 40% chance of pulling through. And he says, her liver is just disintegrating, and we don't know why. So I spent 12 months in bed, and I'd got a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old at this stage. And when I eventually, after 7 years and going to the the hospital in Utrecht for immunology and having a liver puncture, even after 6 months, they couldn't tell me why I was dying. So I pulled through, and then the doctors say, "Well, you're going to be in a wheelchair by the time you're 40. And I'm, 35 at this stage, 2 small children. And I'm thinking, oh, no, I'm not. And next month, I'm the ripe old age of 75 and nowhere near a wheelchair. So that got me onto diet, because you are what you put in your mouth. What chemicals I was putting on my body and into my body. And that is where I started. And then by the time I was 40, I was dragged along to Reiki. And then I moved to Malaysia. And then my spiritual journey just opened and took off.
It's really incredible and unique and exciting path, indeed.
Oh, very exciting. Very up and down.
Yeah. So you mentioned already Malaysia, Asia. So you lived for 12 years in Asia. immersing in diverse cultures and beliefs.
Yes.
It's quite a path. Can you share a specific experience or learning from those years that transformed your approach to wellness?
Yes. I was writing every month, Colette Naturally. That was the title of my page for the British Association magazine. And every course that was going, or I'd go for an iridology or a reflexology and just write about it for that month. And I saw an advert for a colour course. And I thought, oh, I'll go to that and I'll write about that for the month. So off I toddle, and I'm the only person on the course. And the lady is from Australia, and I get confronted with all these bottles with 2 colours in each bottle. And I have to choose my 4 bottles. And she says, what are those saying to you? So I get verbal diarrhea, and I'm sort of talking about it, and she was saying, you should be doing this. And she gave me the founder's book, Vicky Wall, her life story to read. So I wrote the article, I let this woman read it, and she went, yes, that's fine. And then that year, I'm coming back to the UK on home leave, and I ring up Aura-Soma and I say, have you got any courses going? And they go, yes, we've got a course starting on Sunday with 1 place left. And I went, put me on it. And the biggest thing that hit me on this was when we went round the factory basically to see how it was made. I met the guy who does all the mixing and the energizing of the product. And there's 14 of us, and we're stood there and we're listening to it, and I am crying. And I don't know why I'm crying, but he's opened my heart chakra so wide. So that lunchtime, I say to the girls, I'm going up to the shop. I need a walk. I need to get out. And I walk into the shop, and Irene in the shop says, how's the course going? Have you met Mike Booth, who owns the company now? And I went, no, I believe he's away, but I would love to meet him. And she turns to him and goes, Mike, can I introduce Colette? So very Dutch. I put out my hand and I go, hello, Colette Garside. And he goes, hello, kisses me on both cheeks, Mike Booth. And I went, is it possible I could have the distributorship for the Philippines, Singapore, and Malaysia? And I can't give you Singapore because I promised it to a French lady. Let's leave the Philippines at the moment, but you can have Malaysia. So I went, great. He says, come to my office on Friday, sign the contract. I said, I've got another problem. I'm supposed to spend £500 on bottles, and I haven't got that at the moment. And he said, well, I'll give you 90 days to pay. And I went, yeah, fine.
Yeah, that's destiny. Definitely lead you.
And for the next 18 years, I was the major distributor for Aura-Soma in Malaysia and Singapore, and established it in those 2 countries. And now it's flying over there. It really is. So that was the major turning point for me. Well, one of the major turning points for me in Malaysia.
So following the color therapy is one of your offerings, like I, Ching, and Colour. Yeah.
Yes.
How does color impact the well-being? And can you give a quick example of how you use it with the client?
Okay. If you think about color, color's everywhere. You wear color, you eat color, you drink color, you talk in color. Oh, it's a great day. I'm feeling blue today. And 9 times out of 10, when a person comes to me for a consultation, they are wearing the colors they choose. So on a subconscious level, their chakras are saying, this is weak. I need to boost those chakras.
Mm-hmm.
If it's above the waist, I see that as the conscious level. Below the waist, that is the subconscious.
Yeah.
And we live in our chakras all the time. And so by understanding your colors, and everybody has got a mixture of the four personalities. A red person is be brief, be bright and be gone, lead, follow or get out the way. A green person is show me that you care. And I will say, yes, I will do anything for you, but don't give me too much because you'll overwhelm me. A yellow person comes up with all the ideas and they know everybody's birthday and they know everybody's anniversary and they know all the kids and they are the enthusiastic ones, but you've got to keep them on track. And the blue people are the ones who want all the details. Give me the details, let me absorb it, come back to me a week later and I'll have all my questions ready for you. And this is what I used in my consultation.
It's right away pop up in my mind some people in my network, and that's so directly to the point of the colors that you said.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we've all got these four colors that we play with, but we will have one or two that are more dominant. But with all what I'm doing with AI, with all the courses, I'm moving into the blue. I'm using more blue within my green because we've got to realize that blue and yellow make green.
Yeah, it's amazing to recognize how the world changes, technologies and trends influence on us and reflect directly, or as you said, subconsciously, the colors that we choose.
Yes, absolutely. And even the colors that we eat. You know, some people have a lot of tomatoes in their food. Other people have a lot of salad stuff, a lot of greens. And it is what your body is asking to be fed with. And I really feel your chakra system, you need to understand it upside down, back to front, inside out. To understand where you are emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically.
So true.
Yeah, it really is so important. And when you think about your throat chakra, the blue chakra, that directs everything because you've passed it through all your chakras and you've brought it back up before you actually speak something.
Yeah, so color is one of the language then that we can dig in deeper and find out by these traits or qualities, as you mentioned, for example, the colors that people wear in the clothes or what they choose, how they behave. So color is one of the universal language of this interconnectedness, inter-influences of external factors and inner nature.
And if you think about business, all logos are based on color. Most banks are blue. Trusting. You know, the policeman wears blue, the Air Force wears blue, the Navy wears blue. And and if you think about McDonald's, it's yellow and red. Put them together, it's orange. It's all about relationships.
Yeah.
And it's all about be quick. The yellow people are quick. Red people is be bright, be brief, be gone. So they want people in and they want people out. They want that turnover.
Wow. It's awesome. Awesome discovery. Then next, let's talk more about need for change. Your need for change platform emphasizes balancing all aspects of being. But can you tell some more about what are the key pillars?
The key pillars for need for change is cellular health. I had 7 years of really ill health, and when you have that many years of ill health, it carries over for many years because your body is replenishing its cells all the time. But your skin cells should replace every 28 days. But as we age, it takes longer for your skin cells to replenish, and you start to see the signs of aging. And that can affect you mentally. It can affect you emotionally. And if you're overweight, we all know that when we carry too much weight, it's difficult to move. It's difficult to play with the children. When you fall over, you don't get up as quick as what you did when you were a child. So you've got to keep your physical body in balance.
Mhm.
And if your mind's out of balance, what do? You eat.
Yeah.
If your emotions are out of balance, you may not eat. So you need to keep the body physically strong. And need for change works with the cellular level of redox signaling molecules. And I was going through the menopause at that stage when I was introduced to it. And with the menopause, and I was living in Malaysia at the time and having hot flashes with that humidity. I was constantly wet. And I'd have anything from 15 to 20 hot flashes a day and then throughout the night. And one of my students introduced it to me, and I started to use the drink because in those days it was the drink which was the main product. Oh, and it tasted vile. It was horrible. It tasted just like swimming pool water. And all she kept on saying was, well, your cells are out of balance, Colette. And keep on going, but I can't drink this. And she went, put it in the fridge, get it as cold as possible, and it'll be fine. Which I did do. And once it was really cold, 60 mils went straight down. Today, I'm more than 10 years drinking it, and I don't need to put it in the fridge anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But then we had the introduction of a gel, which we could use from top to toe for anything and everything. So if you burn yourself when you're cooking, you put the gel on. Mm-hmm. If you get stung by a bee or a wasp, you put the gel on. If you have an operation, you put it on the scar. If you've got an open wound, you put it on the open wound. And I carry this. And this is the sample tube. And that is the major tube. Yeah. But I carry this in my handbag 24/7. I've got a tube in every room in my house. I've got a tube in the car. I've got a tube in my husband's pockets. And even my 9-year-old granddaughter takes a tube to school in her school bag daily.
Amazing. Yeah, so you just mentioned that you carry these sachets to power your day. Yes. And you are an ASEA independent associate. Can you explain what redox signaling molecules are and how they serve properly overall cellular health?
Yes. So imagine this is your house and you've got an ache or a pain or you've got an immune system problem going on. Mm-hmm. Imagine your house is on fire and you've got your telephone, it's fully charged, and you run out of the house and you go to ring the fire brigade. But you've got no signal. The fire, you can't get hold of the fire brigade to come and put the fire out. Redox molecules are the signal that signals the cells to keep the cells healthy, to repair a damaged cell, or to destroy a cell that is beyond repair and to build new cells.
Wow.
So it is not a vitamin, it is not a mineral, it is not a CBD oil, it is not a structured water, it is a cellular communication system.
Wow.
And if your cells are not communicating, and I learned in the 1980s by a German doctor, Dr. Popp, you can look him up on the internet. He found that our cells blink light every nanosecond of the day. That's why we're called light beings, basically.
Wow.
So our cells blink light to communicate. And if the cell is communicating a wrong blink of light, then the healthy cells will go and destroy it or repair it. And this is what redox molecules do. And without our redox molecules, it gives us our energy. Without them, we only have about 2 minutes of life left before we die.
Incredible. So
It is.
then it's not a surprise that the ancient knowledges and our predecessors told about our body like the light body.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So we are the light being in our origin on
Yes.
the solar level.
Exactly. Yeah. And you see, as you get to about the age of 40, you've lost 50% of these redox molecules because you lose 10% every 10 years from the age of 20.
Mm-hmm.
So you really do see the signs of aging. You see the wrinkles, you see the sagging of the skin, the liver spots and what have you. We all need to supplement. And yes, we need to supplement with our vitamins and minerals because our soils are lacking in those as well. My analogy is how I see that is if you think about the dinosaurs, there was no pollution, there was no agriculture, and the trees and the ferns were enormous. The animals were enormous, and there was over 70 minerals in the soil. Today, we're lucky if we've got 9 minerals in our soil. Cattle are fed 14 minerals.
Yeah, different
Babies
oxygen concentration in the atmosphere and so on.
as well.
Mm.
You know, we all need to supplement. And I do think the future of medicine is changing because we're getting sicker. We're not getting healthier.
Yeah.
And it's going to get to the stage, and especially here in the UK, where we get free medical. But that is under such strain these days. And, you know, trying to get a doctor's appointment here is almost impossible these days. And when you do go to see the doctor, and all they're doing is looking at a computer, and within the last 5 years, if you've studied medicine, they are actually looking at redox signaling molecules. And Bath University and Sydney University have just written a white paper, a medical white paper, on our latest product, our Redox Gold, which goes straight into the inflammation gene pathway and corrects that. So medicine is changing. It's got to change. Same as the education system has got to change.
And that's good.
Yes.
That's great. Then let's back a little bit in time. During the pandemic, you spoke about needing to weather the storm. Can you tell more about it?
Yes. A lot of people went for all the injections. And I am not an anti-vaxxer. As a child, I had my measles, I had my whooping cough, I had all the vaccinations, and so did my children. But when they sort of rushed these vaccinations out, I had this question mark. You don't know what this is. When you have a measles vaccine, you have a little bit of the measles vaccinated into you, or TB or whatever, to give you that immunity. So your cells have got to build up an immunity. With these modern vaccines, there isn't that. And at the time, I was quite happy with the lockdown. I thoroughly enjoyed it because I could paint, I could put my courses together, and I was getting online and chatting to people online and doing it on my Facebook page. And then I had a lady who'd had all the vaccines, and she'd come down with COVID, and she'd lost her voice.
Oh,
Literally, she'd come in and she'd look like this.
goodness.
So I have a studio at the end of my garden, and we're in the studio, and it's brick built, but there is a passageway at the back. And we're sat there, and I'm talking to her about redox signaling molecules. And all of a sudden she said, I've got to go. And I went, why? And she said, somebody's smoking, and I can feel it is affecting me, and I think I'm going to pass out. So as part of my charity work, I was giving her the redox molecules on a weekly basis for 8 months. It was keeping her balanced. It wasn't bringing her voice back, but she wasn't deteriorating anymore. We are now, 5 years down the line? She's now got cancer, and they've given her 6 months. Now, she hasn't carried on with the molecules because after 8 months of me paying for it, I went, enough's enough. She hasn't carried on with it. And I really feel that if she had have done, she'd be in a lot better position than what she is today. Because my husband also was diagnosed with stage 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd sent him in with a bottle of the drink and a tube of the gel. And when he came out, I was making him drink 1 litre a day. And then for 5 weeks, I dropped him down to 0.5 litre a day. And when he went back in for his second operation, they found nothing. And we're 3 years down the line and he's still clear.
Wow, that's a miracle.
Yeah. We had a baby in Romania born with a hole in her heart. And they gave her the doctor would feed her the drink. And within 3 months, the hole had cleared up. Now, I lost a sister with a hole in her heart.
Mm-hmm.
So we have that many testimonials, and I'm not saying it will cure anything. I am not saying that. All I am saying is it will help to bring your body into balance, and it will help to supplement your cells. That's all I'm saying. But I'm not saying it will cure or remove any disease or anything.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, it's amazing stories, really, that you shared.
Yeah.
I mean, people they merely call it miracles, but we know that this thanks to scientific and cellular achievements and innovations. Yeah.
If you go onto the website realredoxresult.com and the password is redox with a capital R, there are over 140 testimonials for different things. And each testimonial takes about 2 to 3 minutes to listen to. But you can go down the side and say, oh, rogue cells or blood issues or something like that, because we're not allowed to talk about any illness. But the testimonials are amazing, absolutely amazing. You know, I use essential oils daily. I use tissue salts, and tissue salts were in everybody's first aid kit right up until aspirin was invented. I've even got a course on tissue salts that I give in relationship to colour and astrology. And yes, you can't get rid of this ancient knowledge. It's there for a reason. And when you look at the Red Indians, the Aboriginals, the Peruvians, they live the ancient life. And you know on a subconscious level when you walk into a room whether that room feels safe or that room doesn't.
Yeah. So I believe, I want to believe, and I want to hope that with every decade we unlock more keys, ancient keys.
And I think we are. I really do. And I must admit, this last 12 months, 18 months, a lot more people are coming out of the woodwork again in relationship to spirituality, in relationship to health. I went to a networking meeting a few months ago, and out of 20 people, there was 15 women, all in the holistic realm.
Well,
whether that was for the menopause, whether that was tapping, whether it was NLP, whether it was hypnosis, whether it was Reiki, whether it was reflexology, me with cellular health. That was phenomenal.
So
really.
Then we witness a new big wave of collective awareness.
Yes. Yeah.
And back shortly to the color that we discussed already. In some posts already you shared this trinity, trilogy that I liked also as well. The essence of this world is color, light, and sound.
Sound. Yeah. Because when you speak something, it's a sound. Is it soft? Is it loud? Is it angry? Is it loving? Is it kind? And when you listen to a singing bowl, it gives you a vibration. If you put sand on a drum and you bang the drum, it makes a pattern. Tesla knew all about sound and frequency.
Yes.
And as I say, we live in colour and we live in light. You know, living in the north of the world with the lack of daylight in the winter time, people get sad syndrome, and you have to have that artificial light to bring you out of that depression. So for me, color, light and sound are the medicines of the future. They really are the medicines of the future. And the more I go into it and I go down the rabbit hole, the more I know I'm right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then my next question to you, very logic from this conversation. As a BAPTAC-accredited therapist and wellness mentor, what are a couple of common misconceptions about holistic therapy you'd love to correct for a broader audience today?
We're not woo-woo. We are people who have studied. And BAPTAC is my beauty. And that has led me into other modalities. And even with Reiki, you've got the Reiki Federation, you've got the Hypnosis Federation, you've got the NLP Federation, you've got the EFT Federation, you've got the Aromatherapy Federation. And if you take these therapies seriously and you go to an accredited person, they are not going to be, oh, I'm getting this, you've got an open window in your house, and you've got to be careful. We are people who have researched, who have studied, who have spent money to get accredited. Just like a doctor, just like a nurse, just like a physiotherapist.
And wrapping up our conversation today, let me ask you, looking ahead to the next decade, what emerging trends, whether in biomedical, holistic wellness, or spiritual healing, are you most excited about implementing in Need for Change? And what key takeaways and achievements do you wish to find in Need for Change in, let's say, 5 years?
Okay, what I'm most excited about is the cellular health. Really, really excited because we now have universities around the world looking at different gene pathways. 8 years ago, they did a study with 60 participants, and they found that out of 25 who were on the product, it opened 5 major gene pathways. So it affected the cardiovascular, the inflammation system, the immune system, the digestive system, and the hormonal system. Bath University and Sydney University have just looked at the Redox Gold, which is for the inflammation pathway. So anything to do with inflammation, this is the one. The other universities are looking at the other 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they will become, in the next 5 years, they will be coming out with other things to really direct. And how I see this is, you have a piano keyboard with 88 keys on a piano. Our renew and our drink cover the 88 keys, so it's broad spectrum. This one only covers 3 keys of the 88. And the other universities are going to find another 3 keys and another 3 keys for all the different other pathways.
Wow.
And they found redox molecules by 3 scientists in 1998. So it's not new. It's been around a long time. And they got the Nobel Prize for their discovery. And universities and medical professions are actually looking at redox. And with AI, there is going to be a lot more AI in the medical profession. And I think that will have an influence on the holistic aspect of health and wellness as well. And I think that's exciting.
And that's what you would like to see in Need for Change.
Yes.
Just ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Because I want to educate. And the more we educate, the more people understand. And I'm always open for questions. And if I can't answer the question, I'll say, I don't know, but I will try and find out for you. I love to teach. I love to impart my knowledge. And, you know, I say to all my students, whatever I say, wrap it around your heart if it feels right to you. If it doesn't feel right to you, just leave it in the room and I'll deal with it.
Thank you very much for your insights. Thank you very much for your heart. Thank you very much for your wisdom. Thank you very much for your personal statement and strong position. Thank you for serving for humanity. And thank you to be here with me today. Ladies and gentlemen, this was Colette Garside in Master Series 2025. Follow us for more, subscribe to the channel. If you want to learn more, the resources, links you will find in the description of this video. Thank you for being with us today and see you next time.
Thank you very much. I've loved every minute.